The details now. An Indian businessman deported by the Interior Minister can finally heave a sigh of relief as an Accra High Court has ordered his release from the custody of the Ghana Immigration Service. His deportation was signed off by Interior Minister Ambrose Derry on the basis that he had used a fake marriage certificate to secure a permit. He was subsequently deported. His lawyers rushed to the High Court and got a decision to set that deportation aside. On his return to the country, he was picked up again and detained by the Ghana Immigration Service. Now, the court today ordered his release, describing the detention as unlawful. JoyNews' Joseph Akable has the rest of the story.
So, per the order of the court given on July 31 by Justice Akabuafo, the lawyers for the Ghana Immigration Service was to justify to the court the basis for the detention of the businessman. Now, when the case was called, lawyer Peter Nanto, who represented the Ghana Immigration Service, told the court that they detained the businessman because he did not have a visa on arrival at the Kotoka International Airport. Now, this was disputed by the lawyer for the businessman, Gary Nimako, and his point to the court was to the effect that per the orders given by the court, the gentleman was to be allowed entry into the country, and for which reason they didn't even see it necessary for him to have that visa. Moreover, he said even when they realized he did not have that visa, they could have offered him an opportunity to apply for that visa as is allowed for internationals who arrive in the country. But he said that opportunity was not afforded this individual, for which reason he prayed that the court orders the release of the businessman immediately. Justice Akabuafo, in giving his order, directed that the Ghana Immigration Service immediately released the gentleman. He said the detention was unlawful and without basis. He again added that they can keep the passport of the businessman. The businessman is to report to the Ghana Immigration Service on August 8th. Now, on this date, the Immigration Service will either charge him for whatever offense they want to charge him with, or if they fail to do so, they should proceed to regularize his permit in terms of that allowing him to stay in this country. For lawyer for the businessman, Gary Nimako, he described the decision by the court as an affirmation of the view that all persons who appear before the court are equal.
But it's not about war, it's not about fight. They are our friends. Immigration people are our friends. You know, the Interior Minister is our friend, he's a senior brother. That's what immigration is. It's my senior brother, it's my friend. So it's not a bad blood between anybody, but it's about the fact that the law must be tested. Everybody's right must be enforced. It doesn't matter your color, your race, your origin, where you come from. What is important is that once you're a human being, the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana enshrines us that we should all ensure that you protect your dignity. You don't violate your dignity. That is the point. That's the point. So I think that it's a good ruling that the court has given, and you realize that the man went home.
So what remains to be seen is whether the Immigration Service, and for that matter the AG's department, will be preferring any charge against the individual, or to allow him go and regularize his permit as has been directed by the court. Reporting for JoyNews from the High Court, my name is Joseph Akable.
The National Security Ministry has dispelled reports that Ghana has been highlighted as facing an imminent terror attack. Many local news portals are reporting of a security alert issued by the UK and Canada to their nationals here in Ghana and those planning to come in. Now, on Thursday, August 3, the alert from the UK government website indicated that terrorists are likely to try and carry out attacks in Ghana. Others reports that the Canadian government in May 2017 warned its citizens traveling to Ghana to be vigilant, indicating a looming terror attack. They further advised their citizens to take out a comprehensive travel and medical insurance before traveling. The minority in Parliament is demanding the National Security Ministry outlines clear measures to keep the country safe in the wake of that travel advisory by the Canadian government. And addressing a media briefing outside of Parliament on Wednesday night, the minority listed a number of such advisories by the US and European governments as evidence of growing insecurity that needs to be dealt with. The minority spokesperson on foreign affairs, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, also noted that the advisory is worrying.
Canadian government, and they put this travel advisory up on May 30th. And as at August 2, that's today, 4:35 p.m., this travel advisory is still valid. And this is what they have to say about Ghana. Pickpocketing, purse snatching, and attacks by individuals on motorbikes are increasing in Accra and its surroundings, including areas around the High Commission of Canada. There is an increase in crime in Tema, Kumasi, and the Upper East and Upper West regions. Armed robberies of vehicles are a growing concern in areas such as Takoradi, Kumasi, and other parts of the Ashanti region. People working in the mining industry should be particularly cautious. Armed attacks have also been reported along the Accra-Tema and Accra to Kumasi to Tamale highways. You should remain vigilant at all times. Now, of all the travel advisories, this is the most worrying part. The Canadian government is saying, and I read, terrorism. There is a threat of terrorism. Terrorist targets could include shopping malls, government buildings, public areas such as bars, restaurants, hotels, and sites frequented by Westerners. Be aware of your surroundings in public places, unquote. So as we speak, the Canadian government is telling its citizens who intend visiting Ghana that there is a looming terrorist attack. The Ghanaian people have not been told by our government, our national security, our defense ministry, our interior ministry, about this looming terror attack. We all do not wish that this will happen. We do not wish. But it does not mean that we should not take precaution. You cannot run a country on wishes and hopes. Every other country, what they do is that if there is a looming threat, the citizens are informed and citizens are asked to be cautious. Alerts are issued and everybody is put on the necessary alert. If the Canadians are saying that there's a looming terrorism threat, is the Ghanaian government aware? And if they are aware, what are they doing about it? And why have they been silent? Why are they not telling the Ghanaian people about this looming threat?
Okujeto Ablakwa speaking there. Well, the National Security Minister has dispelled those claims of any such attacks. In a statement released today by the ministry, they describe those as standard cautions and do not represent any specific known terrorist threat to Ghana. We'll bring you that statement shortly, but let's go on the streets and listen to what people have to say, whether or not they felt safe in this country.
Even though the news is in the air that Ghana will so be under attack, but I don't believe that because I believe our security system. So I don't have any fear or doubt about that. So
I don't think we are safe because depending on what is going on, like that mob attack and those people, the security agencies, the Kumasi guys. So I don't think we are safe. I think the Ministry of Defense should do something about. They should build up about our security service.
Ghana is a country of freedom, and I like to assure every Ghanaian that this country is safe to live in. We are safe in Ghana.
I think everybody in the world is prone to terrorism because you don't really need to attract them before they come. They can visit you at any time, just like the rapture will take place without you being aware, without you being noticed. Like it will just happen. So I think terrorism, everybody is prone to terrorism, and Ghana is not an exception.
I think we are safe. Okay, we've heard it that there might be a terrorist attack, but I don't think it will happen. Yeah, with God on our side, Ghana is so blessed. I don't think we've done anything to any of the terrorist groups, so I don't think it will come. They're just telling their people here to be alert, but I don't think anything like that will happen.
Well, how do you feel about it? Do you feel that we're safe in God's hands, or do you think otherwise? Well, let's hear from the ministry on their statement there of how well, rest assured you should be that they are in charge of your security. So let me take you through the statement that they issued this morning. Thus, the National Security Ministry has taken notice of news reports of some travel alerts issued by Western nations as a caution to potential travelers to Ghana. The ministry hereby informs the Ghanaian public that the alert are only standard cautions and do not represent any specific known terrorism threat to the nation. Through collaborative and intelligence sharing arrangements with the international allies, the nation's security agencies will be aware if there is a known threat in the offing. The public is hereby assured that the nation faces no known terror threats at the moment and remains safe. It is signed by Minister for Information Mustafa Abdul Hamid. Earlier we had the National Security Minister, to speak to us. Unfortunately, we're unable to raise him at this point. But let's take a very quick break. When we return, we'll bring you in on the woes of Mr. Alfred Agbashi. Where you may. Please stay with us.